In this video, we're going to be building our very first search experience using the Quick Start guide from the Algolia documentation. To follow along, navigate to algolia.com/doc, click the Get Started button, and then start building. This guide's divided into three parts. First, we're going to be creating our index using sample data. Then, we're going to build a search interface using our InstantSearch library. And finally, we're going to be configuring additional relevance and ranking settings to make sure that the most useful items are always displayed first in our search results. Before we can begin, there are a couple of prerequisites. First, you're going to need an Algolia account. If you don't have one already, you can sign up for our build tier for free at algolia.com. You're also going to need a modern version of Node.js. We recommend version 20.19 or later for this quick start. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to build the scaffolding for our application. We're going to use Vite to create an Algolia Quick Start products application from the React TypeScript template. We'll go ahead and do that now. And now we can add our dependencies into our application. Now, because this is a quick start, there's a mix of front-end and back-end dependencies here. For instance, the Algolia Search SDK is used on the back end for creating our index, while the React InstantSearch library is used to build the widgets for our front-end search experience. We also have some styling and a couple of other libraries that we need for the back end. So let me go ahead and copy this into my CLI, and we'll start installing those dependencies. Now, while that's going, we also need some credentials from our Algolia application. We can find all of this information in our Algolia dashboard. After logging in, I navigate to Settings, and then API Keys. Here you can find the application ID where my index is going to live, a Search API key for embedding in the front end, and also a Write API key that we can use for building our index. Now, I don't want to show you my Write API key, so I'm going to go ahead and just copy that in from a file I have already. Now that we have all of our credentials, we're ready to start building our index. So let's go ahead and create an indexing.ts script. And I'm going to go ahead and copy the script from the quick start. We'll go ahead and walk through it though. The first thing you see we do is we load the Algolia SDK. This is going to give us the ability to communicate with our API. In order to do so, we need some credentials. So we're going to load Vite and pull those in from our environment. After we have everything we need to communicate with the API, we go ahead and retrieve our sample dataset. We're going to use the fashion dataset from our dashboard. We then iterate over that dataset, saving each record as an object within our index. Each of those objects immediately gets indexed and is available for search. Okay, I'll go ahead and save this file, and then let's register it as an action within our package.json. Finally, let's execute our script. This will iterate over the records and save the 1,000 products as records in our index. When it's done, we'll see the successfully indexed products message. Now we can go back to our dashboard, look at our indices, and verify that our fashion data is in fact here. We can search directly within the dashboard just to see the shape of the records that we have here. Now that we have our index, it's time to start building our search UI. We're going to build the UI using our InstantSearch library. The InstantSearch library has a series of ready-made widgets that are perfect for building search interfaces. Things like search boxes, filters, results, pagination, everything that you might need. We're going to start by opening up the existing application file, removing the default application, and replacing it with our application logic. You can see we load the InstantSearch library right here at the top, including a number of widgets. Our search box, our results, we call them hits, the ability to do highlighting within those hits, pagination, and a few other things that are going to be useful for building our interface. We once again retrieve our credentials from the environment variables, this time a search key, which will be embedded into the front end, and then we generate the shape of our product records and the cards that they live in. Now, in order to make this look a little bit nicer, we're also going to add a little bit of styling. So let me go ahead and grab our CSS file as well. Then we can go ahead and run our application. Bringing it up here, you can see in fact we do have our search box, we have our filtering capabilities, and we have our results. So I can type in something like denim, and you can see that search result is highlighted with my keyword. And I also have the ability to say, I actually want to filter on this product type facet. Now that we have our first search experience up and running, there are many things that we can do to improve it. For instance, right now, every attribute of our records is searchable by Algolia. That might not be optimal. We might want to modify our indexing so that only the title, the product type, and the description of the record is searchable. There might be metadata that we don't necessarily want to expose. Also, we might want to modify the ranking of these to make sure that the most popular or the best priced items are placed first. There are other things that you can do to improve this experience. We could add more features, additional filters, perhaps some menus, maybe we can do some hierarchical categories. And finally, we could start collecting event data from the search experience so that we can use the engagement of our users to influence the ranking for future users. There's lots more we can do, but this is enough to get us started. I would encourage you to explore more of the documentation to figure out where to go from here. Thanks for following along.